Okay, so I'm going to put this little part here first. All right, the video itself is 2 hours and 30 minutes and 8 seconds. We're at 2 hours and 24 minutes and 48 seconds. And what this is it shows how live streams can be pre-recorded, held in the cache system within the server, and then pulled up at a later date to be restreamed to tap in with other networks that can also stream through the links. Okay? We're just going to read their policy here first. We already know my phone was tapped yesterday afternoon. Okay? This is apparently why my video was taken down. Content that poses a serious risk of arduous harm by spreading medical misinformation about currently administered vaccines that are approved and confirmed to be safe and effective by local health authorities and World Health Organization isn't allowed on YouTube. Okay? Now, since this has all happened, I've had 2 people that I know be seriously injured because of something that they did that they believed wouldn't do it. One person's kidneys shut down and is now on dialysis, as well as they went blind in one eye. The other person had their gallbladder explode inside of them. And by chance, one of their family members came by to check up on them because they weren't answering their phone, and found that person wandering around in his apartment, all bloodied, disoriented because of what happened. In terms of the infection was so bad that he wasn't even aware of who or where or what he was. Like, he wasn't aware of who he was, where he was, what was going on. He was just wandering around bleeding out because his gallbladder exploded. Okay? I'm just saying. So in the meantime, whatever I'm doing here, now I haven't watched the whole thing, but I'd like to put this little part here first, assuming that I stay focused on the subject in terms of what it means when I say pre-recorded live stream put into the cache system within the server, in which in this case it would be the YouTube server. Okay? And then held for an X amount of time. It could be 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, 12 days, 7 days, doesn't matter, until it could be 2 months for that matter if you want it to be, I suppose. And then you just restream it. And if you want people to restream what you're restreaming, you just give them the links, they tap in, and everybody gets to restream it, even though it was recorded 2 months ago, a week ago, or whatever. Okay, there is no medical misinformation in that. That is a fact. Okay? That is done through HTML coding. Now, from what I can tell, as I look at this, when I first figured this out, what this corporation was doing in partnership with government that are in different countries, because the corporation itself is in the United States of America, where I live in Canada, and what I was recording was being recorded in Canada. So that tells me that the province of British Columbia, Canada, is a shareholder to some degree, has interests, financial interests, corporate interests, to be in partnership in a contract kind of a way, right, where they have authority to go in and, I suppose, tap people's phones without getting warrants to either investigate illegal activity that they suspect might be going on, or to shut up rebel raisers, whatever you want to call them, raisers, like, me, that bring to the surface the shenanigans that we're facing here, people. Okay? So we're just going to play this. Now, at this time, the HTML code was in the original state. As soon as I started uploading these kind of videos and YouTube staff caught on, that I caught on, they changed the HTML code to try and hide what they were doing. But I had already recorded it. I already got it on camera on several occasions as to how they were running fake pre-recorded live streams to correlate with the numbers of deaths that were coming in at that time because of a situation that made people go out and do something where their gallbladders exploded, where their kidneys shut down, where they lost their eyesight completely in one eye. and are now being told that that's just getting old. It just happened. We don't know why. Okay. Reminder. Right. Started. Refresh. It's on. However, when it came in between 3 days ago. So, when you do a live stream, this is not medical misinformation. When you do a live stream, your live stream doesn't come in halfway down, right? It doesn't come in 5 videos in the past, 7, 8 videos in the past. It comes at the very beginning of your row of videos. If I was to do a live stream, it would be the first video right there. It's not going to show up down here unless, of course, that live stream was pre-recorded and that's where it was recorded, was there. How many days in the past? In this situation, I'm talking about a live stream that was 3 days in the past. You can see right here. There it is, right there. But if you notice, there's a video right here in front of it, okay? That's impossible if it's a legitimate live stream. That's because they're restreaming it. It's already in the it's already on hold. It's already in its own folder. So they just plugged into it, and they're allowing now all the news medias that are going to restream this to plug into the link to this particular video. Not this video, not those videos, but this video. And once all the news medias link into this one particular video, right, then it jumps. But like I said, there's 2 ways. In the beginning, it used to say, once the stream was over, before they could change it with the code, right, it would say 3 days in the past, 4 days in the past. They got funky. They hit it, okay? Once they realized that I caught them with the pre-recorded live stream, they changed their source code, people. But even then, I could still catch it. Because this will jump. Instead of being 3 days in the past, after the live stream is over and everything, then what they do is they move it to the front, right, to cover their tracks. They can't leave a pre-recorded live stream 3 days in the past and have these ones in the front. That's too much like Common Core. Nothing would add up. And people would be like, that's not real, because it's impossible to have a live stream today from 3 days in the past. Because if that was the case, it'd be over there. This is what they were doing, okay? That's not medical misinformation. That's a fact. But as they were doing that, though, they were coming in with numbers, with statistics that were gathered over a day or 2 or 3 or whatever to spread fear porn so that people would run off and make it so that their bladders would explode unknowingly, as they were thinking they were doing the right thing. Because the person who had their bladder explode is convinced now, after the fact, that they did the wrong thing. And they'll never do it again. And then, of course, it can't stay there. So they tweaked it with their HTML source code, brought it to the front, and then... So in this situation, because I documented it the first time around, right, how it was going, then they changed the source code, but because they were dealing with pre-recorded live streams, there was that little window where before they could move it to the front, they had to let everybody jump in where it was originally recorded with the proper link. And then once everybody tapped in, then they jumped it through the source code, because you write it through the source code, right? So that you wouldn't catch on to lie, people, to lies. With their predicted programming, told you. So you see, I don't know. I don't know what I said there. This is why I need to stop doing YouTube videos, because it's fake. YouTube is a very fake, fucking dangerous website. Yeah. That one old person died. Yeah. Is that medical misinformation? Right? I better stop. Okay. So August 10th of 2024, YouTube did it again. And this is interesting because yesterday, in other words, what YouTube did is they removed another video from my channel, people, right? This is what I was trying to tell you, Shelley. Okay? Now, yesterday, Leah from the States, she called me, and we talked on the phone for quite a while. And this is how I want to point out how when you're a targeted family or a targeted individual, how they use different gang stalking techniques, I guess you could say spyware, right? To monitor your activity, to try and control your activity, control your behavior, control that cortisol that's going on in your brain, because obviously mine's sparking right now, right? But they've done this so many times, people, that, like I've said, I've come to the conclusion that YouTube is a satanic corporation. I don't know how to say it any other way than that. Okay? Because it's deviant. It participates in deviant activity that is ambiguous, elusive, has no accountability, speaks with forked tongue, right? Comes in through the back door with their seedy crap as they shadow ban important information and run with... Anyway, let's focus on this. So, let's go to my Gmail. This is now... Yesterday, when I was talking to Leah, okay, we were talking on about Shimei. We were talking on a little bit about robots and how that correlated to what happened to Shimei and her body, skin suits, body parts, illegal organ harvesting, yada yada, yeah, right? How every now and then I bring to the surface that sometimes when you're watching these videos, wherever you're watching them, whatever it is that you're looking at isn't necessarily of 100% human DNA, and in fact could be an actual robot, because the technology is so advanced that, they're going out of their way, people, to make these so-called robots appear as human as they possibly can be. They even do, I guess you could say, experiments where they'll have a robot in front of somebody just to interact. They'll have a human being sitting in front of a robot to interact with the robot to see if they can distinguish the difference between, well, is it a robot or is it a human? Because the people that are creating these quote-unquote robots, if that's what they really are, in terms of all being mechanical, right, and nothing but mechanical, with all artificial body parts, right, outside of maybe human teeth, okay, because we know they took Shmei's teeth after they did what they did with her body. Anyway, because they're so determined to make the so-called robot to be superior than the human being in all aspects of what that means, including interacting with it, including with the way it looks, in terms of, if that's a robot and that's a human, can you tell 20 feet away the difference between the two of them? Or do you think they're both human, right? And then if you say, well, no, I can't tell the difference, then they put you 10 feet away and say, well, can you tell the difference? No. Then they put you 5 feet away, and 5 feet away, and then they have you interact with it to see if you can figure out that maybe there's something wrong and that the robot on this side isn't responding the way a human would, so that, they can narrow in where they have to perfect their techniques. Anyway, okay, so we're not surprised, because I am a targeted individual. I have been for a long time, people. Clearly my phone is tapped, because we were talking about this stuff yesterday, and Leah brought it up in terms of what they just took down. So they're listening to my conversations on a landline. That's the first thing. Okay, I have a landline, people. I don't have a cell phone. I was on the phone for a couple of hours with Leah yesterday, and we were talking this, that, and everything. And then she brought up my playlists, okay? And she brought up where, at that time I was doing videos on the province of British Columbia, Canada, in relation to quote-unquote doctor who has no patients but is titled to be a doctor, Bonnie Henry, who was putting out orders and had everybody on lockdown in the province of British Columbia, Canada. And they were running their live streams, right? As they were doing whatever updates or orders or whatever on the province of British Columbia, Canada YouTube channel. All right. Leah brought that up yesterday, talking about, well, you pointed out that, there's something going on with the eyes, that's suggesting that we're dealing with robots here in the Parliament building. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on here, people. All right, I already done it with the coroner of British Columbia, Canada. There's no disputing it. There's motherboards in that entity's hair. The eyes are all whatever, big gaping black hole in the cheek when you take it to exposure. Okay? So anyway, this is what we were kind of talking about yesterday. And what did YouTube do this morning at 9 o'clock this morning? They took down a video in relation to exactly what Leah and I were talking about. Okay? Because she's thinking about doing some follow-up videos on Shmei. I said, yes, please, do it. Truth Reality's name came up. I said, he ain't doing shit. He dropped the ball. He put Shmei's videos on lockdown, making everybody pay to see them. Right? wanted me to do some freaky deaky shit before he'd do his documentary. And I didn't do it, so now he's not doing the documentary. So he left Shimei in the dust. That's what I told her, right? So if she wants to do some videos, follow-ups on Shimei or anything, I said, do it. Okay. So what does YouTube do? At 9 o'clock this morning, they take down a video. What is the name of the video? Here we go. You ready? BC government and fake live streams. It's in their eyes. September 3rd of 2020. What did they take it down under? Medical misinformation. Are they going to be specific about it? I don't know. Let's just see. So, how do we get there? Okay? Now I ain't gonna, this is gonna become a bit shoot exclusive, people. I don't have no choice but to do it this way after the fact of turning off this camera. Okay? Because, first of all, the only reason this is happening is because they tapped my phone yesterday, people. They were listening in on a private conversation, right? Looking for something to do that psychological warfare, right? Coming in through the back door with their heebie-jeebie shit, because this is what Leah was saying. Oh yeah, in your playlist, you were bringing up the subject of, in the eyes, right? Because we were talking about how I exposed how Shimei was embalmed. I produced an orifice plug. I showed they had an orifice plug in the back of her throat through exposure. I showed that she had sutures in her lip, like on the corners of her mouth, because when a body is dead, the jaw drops. So they suture up the corner of the mouth to hold up the jaw, right? I showed how they had electrodes underneath her skin. I showed how they had tubes coming from somewhere with all the same color solution in it, because that was the tubes that was running the solution that was plugged into somewhere that was hidden under the blankets, that was connected to those electro pads, little square things underneath the skin to provide color to the face as if it was alive, or to make it look gray when they changed a switch to change the solution going through the tubes, to change the color of the skin to make it look like it was dead. Because you have to remember, people, they had her dead body on a hospital bed in a warm ambient, like the temperature in the room was warm. The ambient temperature was warm, right? Because if people walked into a very, 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 very cold room to slow down the composition of Shimei's body, people would have become suspicious. So the room itself was of ambient temperature, which would be normal for, humans to walk into a room at, a regular temperature that we're used to, right? That's what I mean by ambient temperature, right? And, but they had to control the color of the skin. And they did that through those electrodes and through those tubes. And this is what I was telling Leah, right? I documented all of that through exposure. I documented the bruise that was on her forehead through exposure. I documented the fact that Shimei's eyes were caving in through exposure. I documented that after the eyes were caving in, they turn around and they put eye caps in to make them round again, because they were caving in too much through the decomposition process after 9 days. Okay? So, obviously somebody was listening to my conversation. Seriously, people, because Leah brought up the subject of the province of British Columbia, Canada, with their fake eyes and the live streams. And what did YouTube do? Not even within 24 hours. They specifically went in and found a video so that they could take it down. All right. So we know we know they've tapped my phone. So what does that mean? Am I under investigation by the province of British Columbia, Canada, for calling them out with their bullshit crap, targeting vulnerable families for body parts, setting them up for failure before they even get out the freaking door, treating us like cattle as if we were born to be a commodity for a religious sect that needs extra body parts so they can live to be 105 years old as they devour the province with their politics and take over everything and create mass homelessness as they do it. But they see, it's okay if they create mass homelessness, because what it does is it makes it easier to pick one off here, pick one off there, pick off another one over there, and harvest what they want to harvest, people. Whether it's assets like in Uncle John's case, whether it's freaking a fiscal budget like it was in Andre's case in terms of propping up the fiscal budget for the Ministry of Children and Family Development when they illegally apprehended Andre for 15 months, right? Whether it was the illegal organ harvesting of Shimei, because there was a hit put on her, people. Her number was called. Her blood was typed before she even showed up at the hospital dead as a doornail. Okay? There is somebody in this province walking around with my dead daughter's organs inside of them. Okay? And that's just a freaking fact. And the government is covering it up. And not only is it covering it up, but it's also bringing in their fake robotoid, whatever, corner, politicians, whatever, dirty cops, who knows, to, build in their fake shadow accounts in terms of if it's a robot, it's putting its John Henry down as a corner. Clearly that entity gets paid. So there's an account, a bank account of some kind that's created in the name of that entity where taxpayers' money goes into that account as a wage where somebody else will never know who taps into it and accumulates wealth through deception, because that's what's happening. Is it with every and each individual that works for the government? Obviously not. But little by surely, just like they pick off families, one here, one there, one there. Trust me, they're picking off a public union sector over here. Somebody else that works for the government in that department is being picked off over here, being fucking replaced with that whatever they're making, perfecting with their technology. Take it to exposure there, and what do you begin to see? Things that obviously maybe YouTube doesn't want you to see. So they're going to take down what? More videos? Or am I talking about did I mention the word the V word? Not Lady Jane's V word, but the V word that right now currently from my understanding corporations are gearing up to go for round 2 like they did when they came in with round 1 under this whole situation in regards, because you have to watch what you say. They take one fucking word and they ban a whole damn video, people. Alright. Point is, my phone was tapped. And not only was it tapped, but I was targeted through whatever little information that they gathered. And they went on the attack. And they took down one of my videos. And they were specific with what they took down in regards to what Leah and I were talking about on the phone yesterday. And I don't think Leah called me up. Honestly, I don't think she called me up. I don't think she's YouTube staff sitting at home getting a paycheck to call up fucking random YouTubers to get them to start talking so that they can come back in through the back door with their dirty pool playing tactics to, to fuck with our heads, people. No, my phone was tapped. And then they went on the attack, and they took down, so far, one video. So we're going to go into the appeal process. I don't appeal them. There is no point. Because when you go to jail on YouTube, you never get set free. Okay? When they punish you, that's it. Because they are the prosecutor, they are the jury, they are the judge, and they are the executor. You got the prosecutor, you got the jury, you got the judge, and you got the executor. And all four will deem you guilty. So even if you try and appeal, they're so corrupt and in bed with each other and out to hide the truth as they promote their satanic agenda, literally, people, that you're stuck. You're stuck. You ain't getting out of fucking jail. Okay? And even if they gave you one, when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? One chance to reinstate your video, that's just to make it look like they're fair. But this is not a fair website. This is a website that is designed to monitor people, to stalk people, to target people, to manipulate people to think and behave a certain kind of way, and if you don't do it, you get punished. And also to censor people and to bury truth. Or if the truth is coming up to the surface and they can see that other people are catching a clue, they're going to shut you down real freaking fast so that other people can't fucking figure it out because they're not getting the information, which makes the corporation itself corrupt. Okay? And I know for a fact that they were listening into my landline conversation yesterday just because, but they don't care. You see, they're brazen and they're bold and they're right up in your face about the shit that they fucking do. Because they want you scared. And you go back into my videos, and when this crap goes on, this is what I tell you. They want you fucking scared. Okay? This is why they do it. They want that cortisol going on in your brain like crazy. If they can't get that cortisol going on in your brain in one way through the raw squad of, oh, she's a bitch and she's ugly and she's this and, she needs to go crawl in a hole and take her dirty kids with her and, blah. And then the other bitch saying the same damn thing. You go from page to page, they're all saying the damn thing. That gets everybody's cortisol going so that when they go out in the community and go nuts, that's exactly what they fucking want in the end anyway, people. Well, this is just a different maneuver, but it's the same kind of shit. Okay. So now, there may be, with their ambiguous crap, there may be, okay, but they're not specific. We found something, sure, why not be fucking specific? Because they speak with forked tongue anyway, people, okay? Here's how to impact your content, whatever. Okay, so what do we got? Let's just see. What to look for. What to look for. I'm going to have to turn this off and listen to it first. Because, Andre, that water's boiling. Because it could be just simply 2 or 3 words put together and have nothing to do with, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I've shown that through my other videos. Say 3-4 words together, and that's what they take the whole thing and take down the whole fucking video. So, what? They took down, what? They queued it. They queued it right here. So, is this where I'm in trouble? Or is it all of this that I'm in trouble with? I have to turn this off let's just see what it says here. What does it say? Okay, time it occurred. You can see an example. An example, okay? Again, they're leaving a wide berth for themselves, okay? So even if I was to go in, redo that video, take out the last 5 minutes of it, well, not even the last 5 minutes, and then re-upload it, they could come back in and take down the video again and say that whatever it was that they didn't like happened in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Because this is just, right, an example. So they're using an example at 2 hours and 21 minutes and 4 seconds into the video. While there is one example, there may be other. Okay, like this is Dirty Pool Man. But you see, there are illegally people spying on me through my cell phone, through my landline. Now Leah probably has a cell phone, but that's not the point. They don't have a right to be spying on people's conversations, unless, of course, we're criminals under the Criminal Code of Canada. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, you do not have the right to spy on people and record their conversations privately without them knowing about it. Unless, of course, you got a warrant from the judge, like a cop, right? Unless a cop, Andre, the water is boiling. Unless the cop got a warrant from the judge and I'm under investigation for, trafficking something, extorting something, manufacturing something illegal, unless I'm doing something illegal and the cops had me under investigation and got a warrant from a judge so that they could do their spyware on me however they wanted to spy on me and record my conversations without my knowledge, then they can do it. But other than that, no. Okay, this is direct psychological warfare with them tapping into Leah, and Leah will confirm this, unbiased, unconditional, unbiased. Okay, she'll come in, she will confirm, we talked on the phone, unless she's YouTube staff and set me up for this shit, which I don't think she did, okay, she will confirm that this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday on the fucking phone. It's not a coincidence. I am being spied on for whatever sick, stupid reason, okay, other than I'm a targeted individual. They got their sights on another family member in my fucking family for illegal organ harvesting. If not all of us, it's just a matter of time, because they need those body parts, not only for their illegal organ harvesting to transplant from one body to the other, but they also need the teeth and all those kind of things, the skin suits, the bones, who knows, for their robotoids or their hybrid robotoids or whatever the hell it is that they're trying to create to phase us out, to phase us humans out. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to listen and see if this little bit here got me into trouble. So hold on. Okay, I'm listening to this and I'm saying some pretty hardcore shit here, in my opinion. I'm explaining how governments target people in terms of they target your medical files, your dentistry files, your Revenue Canada or United States tax files, if you're on any kind of social assistance or, those types of things, files, and so on, right? They obviously listen to your phone calls without warrants. That is a fact, because this is not a coincidence that they took down this video, considering what Leah and I were talking about yesterday. Like I said, it hasn't even been 24 hours. And right now, I'm almost coming into where they cued it. And basically what I'm talking about at this point is there was, I guess, a parent here in British Columbia, Canada, who is taking the government to court because of this, how they're trying to make it where youth can go off and change their genders without their parents' permissions and blah, 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 blah. Well, he was fighting against that, and anyway, I brought that subject up, so, you know, again, we're dealing with satanic agendas here, people. Hold on a minute. Alright, I went 2 seconds past 21:04, and basically what I said in those couple of seconds was, a lawyer said that he provides free service once or twice. Now we're at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 6 seconds. They queued it at 2 hours, 21:04. I don't know, people. This is messed up. Anyway, I think I'm gonna do this 2 ways. I'm just gonna go into my external hard drive, and I'm gonna see if I can find the video in its entirety, and I'm gonna upload it onto BitChute as a BitChute exclusive. If it's not already there, it could already be there. I'd have to go back, right? And as a matter of fact, I maybe should do that. I should go see if that video is already uploaded onto BitChute. And then at some point when I have time and the energy, I'll do my walk and talk. In other words, I'll start from the beginning, watch the whole video, record, talk, whatever, right, whatever, and then I'm going to upload that as well as a BitChute exclusive onto BitChute. And probably wait for another video to be taken down, because they don't want people to know about fake pre-recorded live streams, people that are sitting in the cache system on hold until such time they get their act together so that they can connect with the news medias, right, to get the information out in terms of, oh, over the weekend, we had so many people die. These are the numbers, blah, 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 blah. But whatever it is that you were watching was a pre-recorded live stream, people, that was on hold for 3 days, a week, almost up to 2 weeks in advance. It's like Lady Jane, for example. You know, whatever she's doing on her new channel content, she said that those videos that she's posting regularly currently were all pre-recorded, okay? And she's just uploading them every day, every second day, because they're already pre-recorded. So she took 2 days out, 24, you know, for 8 hours. That's all she did, was video after video after video after video. And then she put them in a little folder and she's holding them. And then she takes one out and uploads it tomorrow. Next day she takes another one out and uploads it. And then so on and so on and so on and so on. And she can do that for 2 freaking months if she wants to, without having to make another video, because they're all sitting in a folder. Well, it's the same thing with what the province of British Columbia was doing. They were making videos in advance, putting them in the cache system within the server, because they were done through live stream, so that when they restreamed them and had the news medias link in, you know how they link in, and then restream that, I showed you how it happened, people. And so that whatever they were saying in terms of the numbers of deaths that were dying, that was a lie. That was made to happen. Those deaths were made to happen to correlate with the pre-recorded live streams that were put on hold and then restreamed to put out the numbers that had died, but they weren't dead when those live streams were made. That's what YouTube is trying to hide here, okay? But they're using, it's in their eyes, what? Fake live streams, what? Medical misinformation. Medical misinformation, what? That we're dealing with fucking robots? Well, how can you say that it's medical misinformation when you can Google freaking robots on YouTube, okay, and have all kinds of fucking robots coming up on this is what they are. They're friendly. They're sexy. You can have sex with them, you know, right? Because they have their sex doll robots, right? You know, they're this, they're that, right? Robots. Let's see. So what's the difference between their robots when they want to promote how sexy they are and how valuable they are, but when I point out how dangerous they are and how they're being used to create shadow accounts so that taxpayers' money go in and pays for coroners to falsify death certificates so that illegal organ harvesting can happen, all of a sudden my opinion on robots becomes invalid. Medical misinformation? No, there's your medical misinformation, people. There's your medical misinformation, people. So if YouTube is so concerned about medical misinformation here, why don't they take down these videos? No, because they're trying to desensitize you to make you love the robot, to trust the robot. Right? The robot is your friend. And the more they can make the robot look like you, the more comfortable you will be with the robot than you would with a human. You will learn to trust the robot more than you would the human. So if you hear something on my channel that makes you think and question like, well, yeah, why would I want to trust a robot? Judy has a point. Why would I want to get comfortable and have sex with a robot compared to a real human being? Judy has a point. Yeah. Maybe I should be paying attention more and not let things just blindside me and have my family members disappear here, disappear there, and have this and have that happen without stopping to think as to what's happening. Okay? Like I said, YouTube is a hypocritical fucking website. If you're so concerned about medical misinformation, take this fucking shit down. That's where the danger is, people. Not with what I'm saying. And I don't think it had anything to do with boy love, right? In terms of this transgenderism that's being fueled by the Baphomet, which is a satanic entity for a insidious agenda, right? And I didn't even say that here. I was just saying that I was going to try and contact a lawyer that was fighting for his kid, some lawyer was taking the province of British Columbia to Canada court to prevent this child from being freaking altered. I didn't even use the word that I wanted to use. As they're wiretapping my landline. When they don't got their energy weapons going through my house. So what am I under investigation for? Speaking the truth here? Putting out the warning? Don't have sex with robots? Don't get comfortable with that? Don't trust a robot? Be careful what you're looking at. Believe half of what you hear and none of what you see. And if you think you're looking at a human being, you better stop and think twice, considering from where they come from, depending on what fucking government agency, department they're working at. Or wherever you come into contact with them. Because you know they're there. The technology is well advanced than what they're showing us, people. The technology is well advanced than what they're showing us, people. Okay, so maybe it's everything in here up until the end. Who knows? The point is, they don't want you to figure it out, people. That's what it is. They don't want you catching a clue. No, they don't want other people coming up behind me and start doing what I've been doing to show exactly what's among us. Okay. This chick here, she murdered her kids. 2 of them. I think 1 survived. She shot them. 3 of them. So I'm using her as a comparison in terms of eyes, right? Because you take it to exposure, and depending on what you're looking at, you're going to come up with some crazy crap that doesn't match up, people. And that's the point.
In the car, and called police,
and that's just with the eyes, okay?
To say that she was hijacked and some random dude just rolled up on her and started shooting everybody.
Now, the eyes, they do reflect back with different lights and whatnot. So, you know, it would almost become like an art in order to get good at distinguishing what you're looking at. Because, you know, practice makes perfect, right?
In the end, I think she was charged with murdering her kids. Because she's a psychopath. See, 4 extremely disturbing interviews with serial killers, okay? That was the title of the video that I just randomly...
So it's... And also, too, like, I try and bring in the evidence, I guess you could say. Right? Versus removing the whole video because you want to suggest that it's medical misinformation because it's pointing people in a direction that could potentially save their lives. You know, they'd rather just hide the information and keep people dumbed down, right? You know, dumb down the brain, like hide the information so that they don't even stop to think about it, never mind catch a clue, and follow up on it for themselves and be aware. They'd rather just, you know, give you Common Core where you don't see or understand shit, right? You're completely blind to whatever it is that's coming in your direction, and you'll take it for face value because your brain, chances are is probably under stress with all the bullshit that's going on in community with the cortisol, right? From different, you know, you got family problems, you've got work problems, you've got money problems. You go to the grocery store and you've got problems in the grocery store because some idiot is harassing you in the grocery store. You're standing at the bus stop, minding your own business, and then some other lunatic shows up and starts harassing you. That just keeps the cortisol going, right? Okay? Your phone gets tapped, right? And then YouTube comes in and takes it down a specific video the next day to remind you that, you know, you better smarten up, bitch, because if you don't, we're going to take down even more videos, right? And put you on lockdown because we're the prosecutor, we're the jury, we're the judge, and we're the executor, and therefore you're going to jail and you'll never be released until such time we need to take what we want from your body. And even then, there's a price to pay with that, right? Because, you know, they go for that adrenochrome, people.
He did this on. No.
So I'm showing and I'm talking. I'm showing and I'm talking, right? You know what I mean? This is, okay, you can't say it's medical misinformation when I'm trying to understand what I'm looking at, when I'm going out of my way to show people that, you know, you gotta pay attention to what you're looking at, okay? Okay, clearly that's a fucking robot. So what makes their eyes special, okay? What makes their eyes special compared to a human being that wants to purport themselves to be a freaking fucking politician or a coroner or something like that, right? I'm just saying, people, this is why YouTube is a very dangerous fucking website that's partnered up with corrupt government in combination with policing agencies that wiretap your phones, got their energy weapons focused on your houses, put hits on your fucking family members. And then we wonder why I'm worried about my family members. Okay? It's not a coincidence that my shit should be just being thrown out. Why? Why is my stuff being thrown out, right? Why? Because something is going on with that, people. That's being manufactured. That's being instigated. That was purposely fucking brought in for a reason. Why? Who's next? Who's next on the list? Province of British Columbia, Canada, since you got my freaking phone tapped. What, is that medical misinformation? Fuck no. Fuck no. No. They just don't want people to figure it out.